That's a bit cheeky, but see what I'm doing.
Recording has started.
Thank you very much. Oh, you're not taking it. Feel free to sit there.
Mickey's on.
Thank you very much, Alan. Welcome everybody to this this committee meeting of corporate services on Tuesday, the 23rd of July. Does anybody have any declarations of disclosable pecuniary interests? Thank you very much. And do we have apologies for absence?
Been received from councillors Anne Blackburn, David Blackburn, Douglas Jefferson, Terry Jermyn, and Ron Wood.
Thank you very much, Karen. Could we confirm, please, the minutes of the corporate services meeting held on 18th of June this year? Thank you. Any amendments to make? No, good. And we move on to 17824, approval of payments. Receive and approve the listings of payments made since the last committee meeting. Can we approve the payments? I'm getting yes from the floor here. Anything to add, Alan?
No, those listings were emailed to everyone. They're on the website. And it's just a matter of, at any point in time, if anyone wants any information, feel free to email me and then you'll get the electronic version of that particular document.
Thank you.
Very much. Approve the second.
Yeah.
Second.
Yes, we need a proposer and seconder to approve the payments. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Matt. Login and reporting of complaints. To note any complaints received since the previous meeting. I believe there are none.
There are none.
Woohoo. And moving on to 18024, communications report. To receive a report from the communications officer on communications and a continual update of the council website. Hazel.
Okay, so you should have had this all sent around anyway, but just to briefly go over it. So press releases since last report, the Guildhall School Mosaic Project press release has gone out. That got really good receptions, picked up by 2 newspapers and one for further information, which is good. So they might do a follow-up story on that. D-Day post event went up as well. Right to Play pledge was signed. Finally got the photo for that, so that was all released. Thetford in Bloom front garden competition winners was released yesterday, and the grazing introduced to Castle Park was released about an hour ago. So they're all out and up to date. All of the releases are on our website, should you need them, but if you need copies, just ping me an email and I'll send them over for you. Offline communications, market trader packs have all been signed off. They are being distributed by us, and there is packs here should anyone want to take them with them to distribute around local markets or anyone you might know that might want a stall. Poster sites are still being used around town and being updated by the venues team. We'll continue to use them and holding both relevant posters for events and for local groups as well. Events posters were sent out through local schools before they broke up, so anything that was family orientated or based around any of the children based things we're doing over the holidays was sent through, so they all got distributed as well. We're continuing to use press releases to be picked up. They're going online and offline magazines. They've been picked up by About Thetford as well as local newspapers. Positive. Two examples there for you. We are continuing to highlight town teams' work online as well as the other work going on around town. We've had quite a few bits from the education and heritage team. They've got to the end of their term, so they've done a few write-ups for us to pop in there. Obviously, as the summer breaks heading in, won't have as many physical trips this month, but they are doing some fruit work as part of the Thetford Festival, which is quite a big festival. A partnership with Brecklin that we've got coming up, so there'll be more stuff behind the scenes bits for that and from their performances as well. Across the summer, we've got events organised at the Carnegie and Guildhall, as well as return of the Continental Market. So we'll be straight on that one. That always gets good press, making sure we're answering questions and making sure the information is out for residents to see, and picking up any queries such as bins. Hopefully it won't be an issue this time. Obviously we learn each time, but it will normally get a positive reception, and posting daily does tend to catch people who might have missed the original communications. We've continued to share things about our volunteer groups. Obviously, they've done loads of great positive work, and that will continue going over the summer. The Thetford in Bloom group will continue even after the event, so we'll keep putting out about those lovely little people who join us. Thetford in Bloom judging went out this week as well. Obviously, that was a positive with the awards evening, so that went out as a press release, but we also did some posts running up to that just to build the interest on it. And I've mentioned the In Thetford Festival. A lot of the marketing for that is being built by Breckland. We aren't creating the marketing as such, but we will be adding our own bits and pieces to that and sharing their relevant posts. I believe they are distributing leaflets to homes in Thetford across the next few weeks, so hopefully that will get out to a nice group of people, and most of the residents should be informed with that. Thetford Market page, I've taken over that at the moment without our market coordinator. So we're posting on Tuesday and Saturday. I did miss today, do apologise, but I've been posting there with relevant information for the traders, trying to share which traders we've got on there, and just encourage people to come down even when it's raining and things like that, highlighting certain products as well. In terms of Meta, so Facebook and Twitter reporting, Facebook's still positive. We've sat at a 43%, I think it is, or 37% engagement rate. So it has dropped slightly, but with the summer events, that should pick back up. And we'll continue to try and push the engagement on that. We are continuing our conversations with people on there. We've had a few negative posts recently, not necessarily ours, but with local issues within the town that quite a lot of you will be aware of, that we've dealt with this week. And we've just been very open about communicating what's happening, what the next steps are, who we're working with, and making sure that residents feel like they're being heard. We're continuing to encourage follower sign-ups. All of our posters going out from forward will be speaking to the team about making sure that there is a link to our social media pages on there, and hopefully a QR code that they can use to get more information through that, as well as through websites that they advertise. Once again, videos are getting high interaction. Everybody loves the sheep. The sheep posts are very positive. People, open communication, and even though we've had a few grumbles on there, we've been able to go back and explain why we're doing it, and actually we tend to bring the narrative back to a positive. Our grazer is really, really good at also hopping on there and responding to things, which is good because obviously I don't know the ins and outs of the sheep, but they are able to explain more about the types of sheep, why they're grazing them, whether they'll be moving them off when they're breeding, things like that, general questions you get from the public. Upcoming press releases, Anglia and Bloom visit, that is being drafted, was being drafted today, so I'll just finish that off and hopefully get that out next week. Clock Tower Works is still on my radar to do. I just need to sit down with what's going to be Terry J, so we'll have to chat on that one to get the information for that. Obviously, he's very busy at the moment. Player improvements, again, Terry's going to support with that, and Nick. And then bus station partnerships is one we're doing with Norfolk County Council. That was delayed due to Purda, but they should be happy to go ahead with that now and get some photos down there and get some nice positive us and Norfolk work, which would be good because we get a lot of float. I think that's it, apart from the website.
Thanks very much, Hazel.
That's it.
I don't want to comment about that. I think the Mayor, Councillor Harvey, has probably got something to say to Councillor Mitchell, haven't you? Yes, regarding his phone going off earlier.
Regarding his phone going, yes, I've got that. Yes, I had noticed. I couldn't.
How much does he owe you?
Tenner.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're not the only one. You're the second one in my turn now, so let's keep it going. the more times your phone goes off, the more money I get for my charities.
Can you have a first time like with my text that made
What did you say,
it
sir?
was my text that made his phone
Oh,
ring.
that's £10 for you as well.
Through the whole 20. Wake up.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Hazel. That's excellent. There's a number of things I would specifically like to say before we chuck it open. Thanks for the market copy. It's really good and it's really proactive, and I think it's excellent. So thank you for that. Thank you for the promptness with which you're putting out press releases. Thank you for blocking the Facebook trolls. It's what we, the sad reality is what we need to do, isn't it? And you've been pretty proactive with that, so that's good.
We've blocked a couple, but we've actually responded to quite a few who seem to have simmered down. So I think
Yes.
answering the questions is
Yeah.
proactive as well in that sense.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we have removed.
Carrot and stick. I'll throw it open. Any further comments, Matt?
Two, well done on the pushing of the town team as well, because we can say and do what we want in meetings, but I think the public see the visibility of the town team more than anything that we'll ever do in these rooms. So well done that. The other thing is, I know we do already, but can we make a really big push to speak to the high street when the Continental Market is on?
Yep.
Just so there can be no complaints afterwards that we weren't consulted, or if we'd have known, we would have opened up. If we can just make a really big song and a dance, make it incredibly obvious to them, we're saying, we're open here till then. If you can stay open later to accommodate these people, excellent. But then we can say afterwards, we did it and there'll be no complaints from them.
Yeah, I think that went down with the events team did that last time, but I can go out and do that personally and give them all leaflets and things, so.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Hazel and her team for the speed at which the stuff is getting out. I think before there was a bit of a delay between the mayoral events and the stuff getting out, but now within 2 or 3 days the stuff is out there. People are quoting online. They're stopping me down the town, and well done, Hazel. You're making me more popular than ever.
Yeah, I've probably never mentioned it to my fellow councillors, but I don't indulge in social media. But can I presume that you've got two types of people that make bad complaints? Some people that have genuine queries, and once you've answered them, like you've said, and then you've just got people that are going to be negative, whatever. Is that how it?
Yeah, have to be careful how I say that, but yes, there are individuals who just.
They're just going to moan whatever.
Yeah, they just spend their time
Professional trolls.
just questioning a lot of things, but not necessarily in the best ways. But yes, there are people who genuinely just want an answer. They might put it across in the wrong way sometimes, but.
That's just nice to know there's people that have genuine.
Yeah, we do.
Answer as well, rather than just.
When there's, if there's something negative in the town, they just want to know what's happening. And as soon as we can tell them something is happening, or we don't necessarily know because it's not our council, especially with the 3-tier here, it's a bit of a nightmare sometimes, but we can say, we don't know, but what we will do is we'll contact this group for you and see where we can get an answer, so, yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. 18124, update on changes to the website. Hazel, I think. No, it's you. Okay, sorry.
I think really this, what we've come to, if you go back a little while, Claudia IT was selected as the website provider. We spent a lot of time kind of working towards the launch date of the 1st of February. And as we know, it really wasn't that successful. The committees afterwards wanted a proper support package from Claudia IT, and we were really battling to get one. And then out the blue, a little while ago, Hazel and myself got an email to say that Claudia IT were basically transferring their website business to a company called Aubergine. Aubergine were very professional. I put on here, they do, I think, 280 local councils. We had a briefing session, Hazel and myself had a briefing session with them a little while ago. Wow, how it was really the most professional IT service I think I've seen in quite a while. Their website is all templated. So if you look at any website, it's all similar. They have standard setups. They have videotapes, how to do video recordings. So if you want to actually add something to your website or do it, you don't leave the website, you just click the video and it'll tell you how to do that. And then the other thing is that they've got 12 people in support. So if we do have it, if we ever need something done, hopefully we'll be able to get that support. What we have done is we've transferred everything to them. We've transferred the commerce, the booking system and everything else, because if you don't do that, then there's always an excuse if something doesn't work. Well, it's another provider. So what we've come to the committee to do is really ask for an in-principle decision that we can pursue this. There's no added cost to us other than the added services, like if they look after our gov.uk domain with Fastnet and things like that, and they'll look after our e-commerce and get that correct. And the other thing that we weren't very aware of is that there's new protocols that come into being in November. Website protocols. So they're up to date with that, and they will provide that particular support and carry that for us.
Okay, thanks. I note two things on that. The first one, in terms of the support we're getting, and I've chatted this through with Alan, the support we're getting is night and day, basically, isn't it, compared to iCloudy. We had the situation, and I imagine Hazel still has nightmares about this, where we had the migration and we were trying to get hold of somebody from iCloudy and couldn't, which is a ludicrous situation and completely inadequate. So I'm very pleased that we appear to have got a much better provider, and well done everyone involved. I'd also add that Aubergine is the most internet name of any company ever, isn't it? Really. Thanks. 18224 personnel report to receive
Sorry, committee are happy.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you're right. Is everybody happy with the changes on the website?
Yeah.
Good, thank you. Personnel report to receive and discuss the personnel report for the months of June, July. I think this is you, isn't it?
It is. I only wrote it yesterday, and it's out of date. The training courses that we've had, we've added on to that. We've spent a lot of money on training. We've obviously got a bigger works team, time team. We're spending a lot of time and effort training. Today, for example, they're doing first aid. Last week they were doing COSH. It's all coming fast and furious. And even I put my name down for some training, freedom of information, which was very useful the other day. And I've had data protection sometime in September, on the 19th of September. We've still got to do that training for councillors on training. And that's, I think, Breckland, with Capita moving back into Breckland, apparently has caused a couple of challenges. So we'll give them a little bit of breathing space, and then we'll be back onto them to give that training.
Is that the same? Sorry, I did put my hand up as well. Is that the same one as that a couple of us attended a few months ago? Yeah. Okay, so if we've attended that one, we don't need to come to the other one.
No. The second one would be we're going to go through. We've had about 3 or 4 controversial planning thing where we've had decisions of variance. And if you remember the one decision of variance, I think it was earlier this year or late last year, the council was really upset that the comments hadn't been out. And what we did is we said, we're not going to come in and have an argument with Breckland, but we're going to say to them, these are the issues. First of all, where we rightly upset, and secondly, how could we have better draft of it? So that was really what it is. So it's actual case studies to better understand where we improve.
Thank you.
The recruitment of the new town clerk. The new town clerk is actually present. It's a Sonia Wright, and she has changed surname between the interviews and now. So Sonia French no longer. Sonia Wright is the thing. Sonia starts. She had an induction day with me, so I think she's still recovering. And we have an informal meet the staff meeting this coming Friday, and there's some meetings with the SMT and with the some of the councillors, the mayor, Councillor Terry Land, but you can't attend.
No, I'm doing a barrel of it.
And then the recruitment of the market coordinator. Nick and myself went through an interview process. We thought we had found a market coordinator. He started work on a trial basis at about 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock today, and within 20 minutes had resigned. So we are back to finding someone. Apparently it was equated to community service. Yeah.
He broke his broom and stormed off, apparently.
Yeah.
Literally broken.
Yeah. His broom broke, and that was enough. It was the broom that broke the camel's back, I suppose.
Anyway, so we're back. We're really desperate for a market coordinator. The pressures on staff is quite high, so we're going to go back and see if we can find something. But you check.
Thank you very much. Any comments on that first? I'd like to thank you for the hard work you're putting in, Alan, getting this stuff out. It has been hard, and I think we should pay notice of that. The only comment I've got really is to say that it feels to me, given the progress the town team are making, that the training they're getting is really bearing fruit. So, you know, it's worthwhile persisting with that, and thank you very much. Anybody else? 18324, financial report for the period ended 30th of June.
Now, I think the ink is still drying on the paper, so I do really apologise. It takes us ages to go through, restructure the budget, restructure the part of accounts, and reconcile everything back. So this is really provisional in terms of the numbers. When we have our August corporate services meeting quite late in August, we will actually have far more accurate figures and possibly figures that make a little bit more sense. Overall, our income is looking okay. I think we lower the budget by about £1,715. I think that's okay. There's probably a little bit of data cleansing to do just to confirm that figure, but compared to the budget of 1.5 million, it's not 1.4 million. It's not too bad a stage, but we'll have to keep an eye on it. The expenditure is obviously the harder part, and we've got significant variances throughout that report. Salaries, we've obviously got significant savings in salaries because we've taken us lead time in terms of employing new staff. We've got overspends in virtually everything. Street furniture, we had to get the brackets fixed, otherwise we wouldn't have been up to our floral displays. And the other variance that we have to take into account is around the toilets. We were going to outsource our toilets or insource our toilets, transfer them back from the 1st of April. It took us a long time to get an amenities assistant, which is the name of the title that we use to the person who does that. They're doing a fantastic job, but we can only now start phasing out the contractors. So the savings that we thought we would have from that have materialised. However, we have significant savings in the the town team and the community and environmental services budget. So that will actually fund the overspend in that particular area. And the last kind of really big concern of mine is the vehicles. We've increased our staff. We've had to get new vehicles, and old vehicles were falling apart. We're leasing at the moment, and so the overspend on that is growing quite significantly. We actually need to do something about that, and hopefully when the new town park starts and creates a little bit of capacity for us, we'll actually be able to hit that as one of our top priorities. Otherwise, we're going to grossly overspend on that. But we do need vehicles. The system we had before, where we had a works team out and someone had to come to the office, they packed up their tools, put them in the back of the van, everyone came to the office, just for someone to do something and then go back to site was the most ridiculous situation that we had. So the vehicles, in terms of the higher cost, we might be paying out more, but certainly we get productivity gains from having them. Over to you, Chair.
I had 3 questions, and you've just answered one of them, which was, what is going on with vehicle costs and why is there an overspend? Thank you for your answer. I wrote some things down earlier when I read through. Why are our waste disposal costs so high if our usage in buildings is now lower?
Our waste disposal costs are really around skips. So we're using Breckland refuse, and they are significantly lower than any other competitor in our previous supplier. But we are spending a lot of money on skips, and they are really expensive. We're shopping around quite a bit. So we use 2 or 3 providers just to keep, just to hope that the prices come down, but it is a very difficult cost to control.
I'm not texting him, I'm writing a note down, I promise. The other one was, it says the electricity costs are £6,417 higher than budget, but could be due to estimated readings. Do we know when the actual readings will be submitted, so we know if we are on track? That budget.
Yeah, it's very difficult. We've been trying to move to smart meters. That we have, I think, about 17 smart electricity meters throughout the town. I think they've done about 5. I can assure you, just that 5 has taken ages because they'll arrive and the meters off the ground, so they're not qualified to do it, so they cancel the appointment and come back. What I was thinking about when I was writing this report is that we've got the capacity in the town team now. We could actually set up a calendar and actually get those readings done manually and submitted, and that might help us. But the estimated readings are just crazy. Sometimes you get a bill of 4,000 and the next month you get a credit back of 2,000 to 3,000.
Mike.
Thank you. I want to go back to introduction, if I may. You expressed concern, Alan, about the accuracy of the report because of the time taken up to unbundle. And I want to stress that, in my view at least, this is a short-term pain, and the long-term gain is really considerable. For years, I've argued that it's hard to make decisions about whether items on the agenda should go forward if we don't know what the staffing costs involved are, because often they are a very significant share of the total cost. We've got that, so I'm very pleased indeed that I'm not too lucky, frankly, about 1 month's somewhat less than accurate. And anyway, your standards are very high. And that brings me to the second point, just to say, Alan, a particular thank you to you for getting it done at a time when the council staff, particularly you, are stressed with some difficulties in staffing. So really a big pat on the back to you and a big feeling that I, as a council, will be able to work more accurately in future.
Yeah, I'd echo that. Any more comments? Can we approve the financial report then, please? All in favour? Yeah, thank you very much. 18424, update on HR consultancy. Again, I think it's over to you, Alan.
The HR consultancy has been going on for quite a while. I have very high expectations of it and still do. I think it's going to help the organisation significantly, but it has taken its time. So just to give you a very brief update, we finally got the job descriptions done. They brought a new structure to an extent. What we did is we're now starting the compulsory consultation process. So the team from Breckland came down on the 17th of July. They did a presentation to the staff, gave them all the information, indicated who the union representative was. The staff felt prejudiced, and basically we're now into our 30-day consultation period. We're having one-on-ones. We've scheduled for the 1st and 2nd of August. I have a feeling that that's not going to be sufficient, so there's going to be a lot more one-on-ones. So the next steps really are the consultants. They set up a dedicated email address. So we're encouraging the staff to send emails as much as go to one-on-one. So if they've got some concerns, otherwise it all comes out at the end. And we as an SMT are just doing our final review of it and then going to give comments as an SMT to them, and we'll be doing that quite shortly. The idea is that the result of the consultation and the comments on the structure comes back to the August meeting of this particular committee, and that will be for sign-off.
Thank you. Comments, please, Matt.
So have the consultants met with staff now, you said already? They just did a presentation and left, or was there any sort of conversation one-on-one?
The interaction was mainly through myself. They drafted job descriptions. What they didn't want us to do is they've gone and done best practice. And that's what they've used. It was very difficult because they had some of our staff probably working 45 hours a day type thing, which way up their contracts. So there was a lot of refinement done. But it's to get the staff input into it, and then because they're the ones that know. We've also created a new position, so the staff can see. Well, I'm actually here presently. We want to go there or take into that take that position into account, and that's what it's intended to be. But it'll just be a sign off from the staff.
I just wanted to make sure nothing of concern had been raised by the members yet or anything like that with them, or is that'll probably come up in the one-on-ones.
I think there are some issues that we have at the staffing level, and I will be going to the consultants and to the staff member concerned and actually encourage them to do that process. And I'll also feed back into that, because we do have some challenges.
Will, after they've done their stuff and they've used what I suppose we could describe as a package to move forward, will that include ongoing staff assessment?
It'll be the basis of the performance management.
Thank you.
So there'll be performance management. Sorry, I'm talking too much. Performance management at senior level and performance management, assistance to performance management downwards. So
yes.
So that's really
good. So the decision required is to note the update. Are we happy to do that? Thank you very much. 18524, review of internal audit report, to review the internal audit report and to assess the adequacy of the management responses to address the matters raised. It says lead the chair, but I don't know much about this. I'm afraid. We were, to be fair, we were talking about this.
Yes. Essentially, there are three particular areas that they've identified. One of them is around purchase orders. Our authorization process wasn't very robust and sound. I think if you have a look at our financial reports for the last few years, you'll notice significant variances of both under and over expenditure. So what we will implement the recommendations of the internal audit service that we've done from the 1st of the 9th. I look at my new colleague, because I know she has very strong views on procurement, and I'll be the officer that will take responsibility for ensuring that that's done. So that's the first recommendation. The second recommendation is around the website. They were very pleased to see that we had started to migrate away from cloud IT, and they've accepted that, but they've actually, there's stuff on the website that needs to be improved. We are going to do the overhaul of the website. We've had that feedback ready. We hope to have that done by the 30th of November. And then the third one, I have to admit, is this the one? Oh no, it's the fourth one, sorry. The third one is quite easy. We haven't updated our health and safety information. I eventually did find some in our share drive, but it wasn't put onto our website. So that's now been done. But we have to update what was on SharePoint and on the website. That has to be updated. And that's one of the new functions of the corporate services. So once we fill the positions, hopefully in September, we'll be able to do that. And there was a fourth one. This is the one. So it's come out in blue, this comment here. I have no idea what they're actually asking, to be honest. Okay, sure. I have a feeling that we tend to treat risk management as an event rather than a process, and they might actually be highlighting that. But I would take guidance.
Yeah. I think I'm very happy to defer that for now, if everybody else is. Any comments on that? Thanks. Can we recommend the internal audit report, please? All in favour? Thank you very much.
The proposer, seconder first.
Sorry, proposer, Matt, seconder. Adam, thank you. 18624, CCTV quotes for the Guildhall.
If those councillors that came to the last meeting will remember that we actually did put an item for the CCTV quotes and we selected a supplier. When we went back to confirm with the supplier, we discovered that we had misinterpreted the quotes and they were a lot more expensive than they had. We saw a quote and myself and the town team manager went through all three quotes and we thought we had summarised it correctly, we hadn't. And because the committee had selected that particular supplier, we had to then come back to committee, and that's really the reason here. What we've got is supplier A, this is their quote to do the Guildhall, and they quoted another £6,000 to do the works yard, so it was a £10,000 quote. Supplier B didn't split the quotes, so supplier B will do the Carnegie, Guildhall and the works yard, and their quote is 6,077, and I've made sure that we haven't misinterpreted that. And then supplier C is a huge amount, £7,000 and £3,000 to do the works yard. So we had a better look at the specifications, and supplier B, just to give you an example, supplier A, which is the supplier we selected last time, provides a 2 terabyte hard drive. Supplier B provides an 8 terabyte hard drive. So we have about 21 days of recording. Supplier A is about 15 cameras. Supplier B is 20 cameras. So and we get 2 sites done. The only problem we have is that the workshop, we don't have an internet connection, but that would impact on anything. So there might be a delay in putting it there. The reason for including the workshop is we want to, sometimes we have to move our vehicles away from this site to the workshop, and we want the assurance that our vehicles are safe there and for insurance purposes. So one of the staff members doesn't decide we need an extra removal van for the weekend, so we'll sneak out one of those. But that will help us. And generally, I think the other factor that we've taken into account is that we are going to start doing more in-house work from an open space perspective, because we're never going to be able to renew our contract, I don't think, at the same level. So we may need to have more equipment, basic equipment to do that, and that will all be stored at the workshop.
Thank you. Comments? This is a revision, because this came before council before, didn't it?
It came to this committee.
Yeah.
Didn't have to
No, sorry, not council, to this committee.
Yeah.
So this is a revision of our original decision. Do we need to make another decision?
Yes, please.
So can I have a show of hands, please, for?
Something before.
Yes.
It's a bit difficult to sort of make a choice if they've not, if I like B, my gut says B,
Yeah.
the quality and the quantity provided and so on, but they've not provided their maintenance agreement. Do you not think that's something we should maybe get before we go?
We could ask them, yes. Sorry, I didn't realise this.
I'm just concerned if we may say, yeah, we love B, and then they whack on, £500 a year maintenance, which kind of affects the reason we voted for them in the first place.
I think that's a reasonable point.
Okay, so subject to over the 5 years, if they're going to charge us and eliminate the difference, then it will be the next.
Yeah, I don't know.
Supply.
Yeah, maybe we say we go with B as long as they don't charge maintenance more than what supplier C, which is the biggest one so far.
Yeah.
If that can be worded, I don't know how we phrase it or whatever, but basically as long as it's not a ridiculous amount of maintenance, ridiculous means only measuring tool.
Do you want to put an amendment forward then?
Yes, I do.
So your amendment would be something like, we would choose B, providing that any service agreement would not exceed the total value of the other 2 quotes.
Should B win this vote and we go for it, can we just, subject to its annual maintenance agreement not being a ridiculous amount?
Could we put a limit of, say, £300 or, just okay?
Do you think we should go with, as long as it's not more than 2, because that's the highest one back there?
Yeah.
We should go higher than that. I'm looking at money people because
I'm trying to remember where they are. So the maintenance will be impacted by travelling. So I don't think any of the 3 are Thetford-based organisations. So they're either Norwich, Bury St Edmunds, and around that region. So that's part of it. That's part of it.
I'll go with 3. I'm happy with 3. That's my amendment.
Is that the amendment you're putting forward? Can we have a seconder for that amendment, please? Chris, thank you. Could we vote on it? Everybody in favour? Thank you very much. Anybody against? No, that's unanimous. Thank you, Matt. Item 18724, correspondence. I don't believe we have any, do we? Item 188, action points. Here we go.
I hate this part of the meeting because it tells you everything that I haven't done for the last year or so. I think the website is obviously still being developed, so we've spoken about that. The risk management issue, we have to do that at some stage. That was really just an actuarial type valuation. I do have the methodology to do it. I just don't have the time to do it. But I don't think that there's a significant risk there. But the committee did ask for it. So the third one is around the rates from the Council Chamber. I had a meeting with the GW standing for clerk today, and we put our heads in our hands and cried a little bit. There's just so much to do about this. So we've still got a little bit of work. We hope to get something done in the next 2 days.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't suggest that earlier. Apologies.
Sorry.
The local procurement policy is in progress a little bit. We really made an effort in getting supplier information where they're located so we can actually do this. So the autumn is actually this autumn, it's not a past autumn. Competitive quotes on credit card transactions to be obtained. We're still under contract on some of our credit cards, so that will be done. The program to develop a timetable for the review of council, that's in progress. We've actually put all the policies in the terms of reference, and one of the committees has already put the timeframes in. And then the relocation still has to be addressed. We're way behind in doing that, and the committee officer we have to meet. Management of TTC has to meet with GWS and to sort out those disagreements. The data cleansing is part of the website. That's item in respect to the website. The market rules, this is done as part of the Community and Environmental Services Committee. The committee's structure on the website requires updating. We'll get that done. I was embarrassed to see that hadn't been done, and I'll make sure that that's done immediately after this meeting. The councillor signatures, we're doing an exercise in terms of IT systems that councillors are using. We just need to get that finalised. The suppliers sent an email to all the councillors last Friday. The press releases, Hazel gave progress, she's done some of them. And the last one is I've got to do is just go back into my year-end working records and actually just give an explanation of that AGAR report. So I'll just make sure that's done before the external auditor comes. It's very embarrassing to have so many items and the fact that they keep growing.
I don't think there's any criticism there. Any comments on those? If not, I do have one around the relocation from Thetford. Yeah. We were, I believe, going to get an outside contractor in to do that, weren't we?
We've got an outside contractor to do the repairs and maintenance. We just need to actually do a logging of what's there, what we will keep. We've got to destroy a significant amount of documents because they're way past their destroy date, and we've just got to then find out where we're going to put things in this particular building. One of the challenges we have is the table, for example. It's not easy to move around. So if we bring it to this side of the building, if you want to use it for a wedding, say use next door for a wedding or something like that, it's going to cause some quite logistical challenges. So we have to deal with those issues. The challenge we have is we're not bringing them, we're not studio, so no one's making any decisions around those things. And that's really the challenge that we have.
Okay. How do we move forward on that, would you suggest?
I think we will do an action plan. We've got to stop going through this, and I think when the new town clerk starts, it's going to help us focus and allocate responsibility. At the moment, there's just too few people that are driving it, and we need a professional body to do that. And I think that will be one of the huge advantages of of having a new town clerk. Sorry, I'm putting you on a pedestal.
Thank you. Thanks. Says we request that the action points be updated. We've done that, haven't we? So we don't need a decision on that, really. Community engagement, any media release? Not for this one, so I don't think. Unless we want something to say that there is a new town clerk.
I think that goes to council, because council has to do that next week.
Yeah,
It's one of the items.
yeah. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Committee officers update. Anything since the agenda was released?
There actually is one of the issues that we have is one of the staff members have approached us study loan assistance to help them better develop in terms of what the work that they do. And I've been hunting high and low to find out whether we have a policy on that, and I can't actually find one. So it's just one of the things that we're going to have a look at, because studying program started in September, and it's really just a matter of getting it all in order. So I will bring something back to the August committee meeting, but it's just that's the only item that I just don't know how to take forward. I need some framework, otherwise we're going to bring a framework to the next committee meeting to do.
Okay, thank you. Exclusion of press and public, to consider resolving that pursuant to the Public Bodies Admission to Meetings Act 1960, the press and public be excluded for any remaining items of business on the grounds of publicity with prejudicial to the public interest by reason of the confidential nature of business to be discussed. Could someone shut the door, please? I'm very happy for you to say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you on the payroll yet?
Okay, let me just turn the recording off.
Don't get away that easy.
So we need to make that decision. So everybody say